Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have our first Facebook Live session. We've had so many amazing questions and interests about young yokes and teaching kids yoga and how to get trained. So we thought, what better way than to talk to you guys today? And this is just the start of our conversation, but to give some time face to face. So I'm Suzanne Daston. I'm one of the owners of Young Yokes, which is a registered children's yoga school that started in 2016. Yay! Certified through the Yoga Alliance. And I'm here with my business partner, but also incredible, amazing friend, mentor, just wonderful human being, Jessica Osborne.
Hi, I'm Jessica Osborne, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll be excited to take your questions. So let's get going.
Super. So we wanted to do this session because we have been talking with so many people just through our own lives. So Jess is a practitioner of yoga. I am as well. And then I wear like another hat in my business world, but that's so great because it lends itself really well to running a business. So we've had just so many questions through all of the different kids yoga classes we've taught this summer and throughout the last year. And so we thought we'd bring to you just what are maybe the top 3 or 5 questions. One thing that we really want to know is, where are you joining us from? So we're in Denver, but we are a registered children's yoga school across the country through the Yoga Alliance. And we have had so many people across the region and across the country express interest in, how do I get involved? How do I get trained? Are you coming to my city? All of that. So, just comment below. Where are you from? We'd love to know, and we'll reach out to you because we do have different trainings and classes scheduled throughout the region and country. So let us know. We want to hear from you.
Okay, you ready to answer some questions?
Oh, I want to answer some questions. Yes.
So I think the first thing we'll tackle is, how do you know that you're interested in becoming a kids yoga teacher? And I think the things to consider is that it's not necessary and yet helpful to be interested in both kids and yoga. Not everyone will teach toddlers and not everyone will teach teens. So there might be a sweet spot somewhere within that age range that you're interested in. Prerequisite of a yoga experience is not needed. I think the important thing to know is, when teaching, especially littles, maybe even through, let's say middle school, mm-hmm. is that form and technique is not of the utmost, I wouldn't say interest, that's not the right word I'm looking for. It's not the highest priority when you're teaching. It's mm-hmm. more about having fun. It's more about going with the flow. It's about teaching them the overarching goal of the practice of yoga. So that might be grounding or breath regulation, or how to calm the intensity of a moment, balance, mm-hmm. community, friendship, things like love, which is really great. And so it's going to be less about your personal Warrior 2 form and alignment. It's going to be a whole lot less about you and your ability to do handstand in the middle of the room, and more about your ability to go with the flow and have fun.
I can't do a handstand in the middle of the room.
I can't either. And we can talk more about that.
No, but I think it's also another, prerequisite. You don't have to have kids. You just have to know what they are. You don't have to have them to teach them. And I think that's actually really great. It's, we've had some of our greatest teachers through Young Yokes. They don't have kids, but they love them and they want to know how to enrich their lives. And so one of our little mantras is, we're helping to raise the world. And that's really what it's about. You don't have to have kids to teach kids yoga. You just have to understand what it is to give love, receive love, teach love. And that's really what that's what we're about.
That's really beautiful. I want to give you a thumbs up.
If you like that, give me a thumbs up or a funny face or whatever. If you didn't like that, it doesn't matter. But a little love would be nice. Okay. Good.
So a general interest in teaching kids, a general interest in yoga. And then I think another really important thing is to have an intention of what you want to do with training. Mm-hmm. The industry, we can talk for hours about the industry and where the industry is in the current space. It's growing and it's evolving and it's moving very quickly, and so opportunities are boundless. And yet I think it's really important before you do a training or move in this direction that you just pause to consider, what do I want to do? Where do I want to apply this, and where do I want to grow? So if it's something as simple as like birthday parties, or teaching your own children, or teaching your nieces and nephews or cousins, working for the local YMCA, our partner, which we're really happy to have. It's just, I think, helpful to have a goal, because like when applying or doing anything new, there's roadblocks, there's speed bumps, there's challenges on the road, and so it's helpful to have a general idea of a path in which you want to go in. Okay, so you're interested in teaching kids yoga, so then what? And so the next question that we've received quite a bit is, what are my training options out there in this community? And I think there's really 3 current paths. The first one is the self-taught people, which is what we're all doing constantly, hopefully evolving ourselves. So, gosh, there's so many resources out there. There's lots of books, DVDs,
YouTube videos.
Still have the DVD player.
VHS, some of us might.
YouTube videos. I've perused quite a few YouTube videos. I mentioned books. There's great resources, music, and so on and so forth. So, and then the next level are these weekend intensives, and there's lots of great options out there, us being one of them. Come join us. Weekend intensives tend to be around 8, 12, 16 hours max. You want to imagine that it's a fire hose experience, as any intensives are. You learn a lot of information in a short period of time.
As we're working with kids is a fire hose experience, so same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And then there's newer in the last recent couple years is this new RCYT, which stands for Registered Children's Yoga Teacher Training through the Yoga Alliance. And so Yoga Alliance is, I'm going to drone on, and this is where Suzanne drinks her coffee. Yoga Alliance is the certifying body of yoga schools and yoga teachers, and they set down these new regulations in the last couple of years regarding children's yoga schools, children's yoga teacher training programs, and what it needs, what your teacher training needs to house, entail in order to provide the correct, where's my quotes? Let's go. Correct amount of information to certify these registered children's yoga teachers. And so it's really exciting. It's new. Where was I going with this? Oh, this third training.
I can tell you where I was going and where you were going, but go ahead.
So it's the third option. So it's this bigger 95-hour. Our program is 7 weeks long. It's 2 weekends. It's a bunch of weeknights. It's completely doable. It's definitely doable, and I think it's exciting. So. How do you, third question is, how do you know where to begin? Do you do self-study? Do you do this weekend intensive? Do you do this 95-hour? And that's homework for you to do. You need to ask yourself, what is my level of interest?
Right. And that was where another question came in, and, post your comments below. I already see a bunch of people coming in with questions and comments and love. So thank you so much. But tell us, are you more interested in getting information on the weekend intensives? Do you want to understand what it means to have a registered children's yoga teacher certification? How can that add value? We understand it's a large price tag to get that certification. That's been a lot of our questions, and Jess will answer that in a minute. But so post your comments below. Let us know, what is your area of interest? Is it weekend intensive? Is it the full 95-hour registered children's yoga teacher certification?
Okay, so level of interest. Thank you for that, by the way.
My pleasure.
So level of interest. Are you just testing the waters? Is this something that intrigues you and you want to learn more about? Then I would encourage you to look at starting with self-study and or a weekend intensive. I don't think anything that you learn in either one of those you can go wrong with. You learn fun games to play and fun ways to engage and connect with children of all ages, including myself.
She's my toughest customer. Just kidding.
So, if it's part of your career path. So children and even yoga, if those two lines are part of your career path, then you need to ask yourself, could I be benefited by a weekend intensive and or this larger RCYT classification? And if the answer is yes, then look at investing into your career. I know for me, when I went through my 200-hour RYT, which stands for Registered Yoga Teacher, I knew that yoga was going to be part of my life for the rest of my life, hopefully. And so I was going to take money and invest in making it a permanent part of my life. And now it's the same thing with children's yoga. I know that working with children and working with children within the path of yoga and mindfulness is the rest of my life. And so moving forward, I am currently pursuing my RCYT as well. And so I think that's an important thing to register and to note.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We've talked with quite a few people within the RCYT, and just to give you some examples, people working within the school districts, professional yoga teachers looking to add genre is not the right word.
I think adding some more like tools to their toolbox of how to teach. We have a lot of speech and language pathologists that have been incorporating lots of yoga therapy, a lot of counselors. One of our amazing lead teachers, Jessica Gershwin. Hi, Jess. She's probably out there right now. And she is a therapist and primarily works with underserved communities. And that's I think where we've seen such an incredible impact is how do you bring this like yoga, mindfulness, it's therapeutic benefits to communities that frankly can't afford yoga in their environments, or maybe they don't understand it, it's not accessible. And so really, what Jess is talking about is like, you don't necessarily have to be a yoga teacher to teach this, whether you're a teacher, whether you work in a church, whether you are any way involved in your community, any way that you interact with kids from birth till about 18 years. That's our primary area of expertise. You can have an impact, and you can bring this mindfulness to their lives and the experience of yoga and what it means. So I think that's what you're getting at.
Yes, absolutely was getting at that. Chelsea wanted to know more about, so you go through this training, weekend intensive and or this bigger RCYT, and then what? The industry, I talk a lot about the industry, but the community, your communities are ripe for lots of opportunities within kids yoga. So the sky's the limit. And I definitely think that, you can find a job before you take a training, or you can inquire at your start local. I think that's important, but, hit up your local rec center and say, hey, I'm interested in teaching kids yoga. They've got this training. What are your current opportunities or jobs based around kids yoga? There's not a whole lot out there. I mean, it depends on where you are, right. But we're ripe for creating awesome opportunities. So, get your certification, your certificate of completion, whatever you want to call it, and then go out there and say, hey, I want to start a yoga program for kids. Do you have any interest? I know our local rec center, I'm in South Suburban Parks and Rec, and I think that I'm going to, fingers crossed, I want this to be the case for our children. I want, kids yoga to be as popular, if not more popular, than our amazing gymnastics programs and or our swimming lessons, because mindfulness, breathing, and yoga are so important for the future of our children. So with that in mind, you create your opportunities. I think that's most important. So start local, start with your friends, your family, your local rec centers, and start to inquire. When you're looking at creating a program, we always, something's better than nothing. Backyard classes are great. There's a lot of logistics behind that, but don't let that scare you. I think go out there and create opportunities. Your kid's school or your nephew's school, cousin's schools, your neighborhood, your neighbor's kids' schools. What else?
Well, I was just going to say that part of that is so Young Yokes, we have programs through the YMCA, and there we have a exclusive partnership with the YMCA of Colorado, and we'll be expanding across Colorado and hopefully within the region. We are doing a lot of programming with the Autism Respite Program, so kids with really special needs and challenges is something that we're focused on and committed to. And we think that's another really underserved population that benefits so much from just a really positive experience and experience building confidence in themselves through yoga, which if you ever practice yoga, that's pretty much what you end up experiencing, is that level of confidence. So if you're more interested in actually working and teaching with us, then post comments below, email Jess or myself. It's going to go to the same thing or one another, and we're at youngyokes.org. Some of you guys might not know, but to yoke, yoga means to yoke, to be in union. So that's part of our name. And so youngyokes.org. So email us, comment on Facebook. If you want to, work for us, if there's other things around the state that you want to initiate, let us know, because we have the ability to do so. I'm going to use that everywhere we can, because it took a lot of work to get that. So I want to promote that. So just reach out to us. Let us know if you want to start something in your own community and have no idea how to. We can help you do that. That's what we're doing across the state right now, and hopefully across the region really soon. Kind of a side note, if we're not in your area, but you want to have a backyard yoga birthday party, we have teachers to do that. If you want to have a kids yoga summer program, reach out to us. We can. As Jess mentioned earlier, there's been so much on the news about different educators, people interacting with kids, and the appropriate way to interact with them, especially in a physical capacity. And so the differentiator between Young Yokes and other programs, and all of them are great because they have the great intentions, but the difference is we train to the anatomy, the ethics, just how to have any type of appropriate interaction with kids in any form of any capacity. And so that's where our licensure comes from. That's where our certifications come from, is that that's a bit of a differentiator for us.
I like it.
How was that? Mouthful.
Differentiator.
What else do we have? One of the things that we want to know is, tell us what you want to know more about. We covered, it was like a 30,000 foot overview of a little bit of our company, but
Suzanne wants to do more videos.
No. But we will do them if you want to do them. One thing that we've been sending out to our network is about weekly is just tips on how to teach kids yoga classes. What are our tips and tricks? And if there's something you want to learn more about, we'll demonstrate it, we'll video it, we'll answer any of your questions. So I think that's
I would like to leave you with one more parting thought, and I think the teachers out there that are currently teaching kids know how rewarding it is, and yet how challenging it can be. And what Suzanne and I are committed to creating through Young Yokes is a community of support. And that's very important to both of us, that our teachers have a space in which they can connect and communicate and can share and can grow. And we can learn together from this experience so that we can all be successful and that we can learn and grow together, because it really is, this is the beginning. And so let's do that.
Right. And that's part of also our name of Yokes in Union is we've reached out to as many children's yoga schools within our community that we know about. We've sent emails. We're trying to bridge that communication and that partnership, because as Yeah, just as we are teaching our youth, is that it's not singular. It's a community of love that provides the best experience for all. So if you yourself already have something going on and you want a little more support, anything, reach out to us too, because we want to join each other and make it a bigger community. It's not about us, it's about we. So we genuinely feel that way, and we'd love to partner and hear more. So leave any questions, comments, feedback, love below. And I think we're gonna, let you go, but we really appreciate it. What else, Jess? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, friends.
Namaste.